Do you remember Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Sacred Cards? Originally released back in 2002 on the Game Boy Advance, with a very loose recreation of an iconic anime arc. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards is a recreation of the Battle City arc from the original anime. This game has a lot of original attributes to it, despite the fact that it's based off this major arc from the original anime, and it sports some quality of life features as well for a portable title. The game visually looks alright for a GBA title. The soundtrack, while solid, isn't the most memorable out of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Licensed games out there, but it still works well for the duels that you go through. And story-wise, while it isn't the most prevalent recreation of Battle City all in all, with your player character traveling through Battle City, dueling against each one of the different opponents available, like Yugi, Kaiba, and experiencing some of the story events with the ghouls, up until the finals where you face off against Merrick, it isn't the most in-depth recreation of Battle City once again, but it's loosely based off of it and has some unique events, like you fighting off against Yugi, while Kaiba faces off against Merrick, which is very different from the original anime. It's solid overall for a GBA title, but don't go into this one expecting too much of an in-depth story based on Battle City. The only mechanics in this game are very simple, especially when compared to Chef of Destruction. This game is very easy, whether you're defeating opponents, gathering money, buying cards at Grandpa's shop, customizing it to your heart's content with different spells and traps. These monsters this time around, as well as the spells and traps themselves, are far easier to put into your deck, with having less of a dual cost in order to actually add them, and they're much cheaper than Chef of Destruction, adding to the easier difficulty overall. All the mechanics are just simple Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling with monster spells and traps once again, having an easier palette this time around compared to the harsh difficulty of Chef of Destruction. Not a bad gameplay system by any means, just very simple. And that is Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Sacred Cards. All in all, not a bad Game Boy Advance game or a Yu-Gi-Oh! Licensed game, but this one really isn't one of the more stellar titles out there compared to some of the later entries on the Nintendo DS, and even story-wise compared to Chef of Destruction. Nonetheless, it's a simple recreation of Battle City and a decent Yu-Gi-Oh! Game all in all, that if you're curious, you should definitely go back and check out. But let me know what you guys think. Have you guys played Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Sacred Cards? Do you have any fond memories of this one? Do you remember watching the original Battle City arc when it was around back in the early 2000s? Let me know all your thoughts and more down below.